Right, it's the 13th of April 2024 and there was over 1,000 loud bikes tied to an erection yesterday and just 3 today. They left a dog outside that was barking persistently for about 10 hours, just repeating the same stuff. Could be a knife edge, you're having a break-in, you're being injected with HIV, you're a child rapist, telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child, telling me to fuck names you shouldn't be coming up, like your names, you know, sort of stuff like that. On top of that, and a load of bird and tweet sounds and seagulls and whatever, you're looking at least 1,000 barks that's come out in that sort of corrupt voice sound pattern. And there's also something else that I need to mention. There was a little bit of burning that occurred last night, and there's a bit of a sensation right now. Being choked by catalyst, by the way. When I was typing in Luke 9 verses 23 and 24 on Bible Gateway just to see what it says, it mentions dying with Christ or something like that. You need to look at the Bible verse where, as I was typing that, a crow went seagull. The battery went flat, but after the seagull went ha ha ha, about 45 seconds later, a seagull said, "Fallen." Lucky 13 van, but with a spanner with the 13 written on it. Then Boner M bike and DAE lorry, white, sick, grey, blue, white. More loud bikes to erections. I'm not in the mood for that today because there's been over 1,000 yesterday, and the voice sounds and dog barks coming out of stupid fucking words. Someone says traffic lights kill or kill him. Incidentally, the threat to smash me in, bash me up with a fist, or to inject me with a HIV needle on sexuality and say that we fucked your life up, or to stop you making kids, or to stop you having sex because you're a rapist or whatever, that was extremely bad last night. Not just revved by cars, but actually outside people saying it. That is really bad. Right, sexual motorbike tied to an erection, sexual car, dribbling, popping bow whistles by about 5 different people, and someone wants to beat me up, so we need to get a knife in that person and smash his face apart, don't we? If we want to get fucking nasty about it. Right, so the government want to get spiteful and vicious about it and want to try and commit manslaughter and murder. Let's put fucking nasty people in your direction. Come on, let's get a fucking knife out and rip your fucking face apart. Come on, let's inject you with weed killer HIV. Come on, let's take your life and tear you to fucking pieces. The government are getting fucking nasty about it. Yeah, so they're cheering, they're laughing, you know, they're fucking buckled, they're twisted fuck. The government are just fucking absolutely fucking mentalists, fucking satanists, and fucking absolutely aggressive and fucking vicious. Like killing babies on stakes and, you know, raping babies and whatever, and playing about with them in fireplaces with poker sticks. Nothing you can do about it. They've got to set that sort of action up in my direction. Yes, I understand, Christ. The government need me hit off. Need to put these bearded, rough fucking neck people in my direction to smash me to the floor. They want to beat me up, you see, so that once the fight gets going, someone gets a knife out, and then it goes into someone's face, and then it goes into everybody, other parts. Then it comes to a point where some people need to commit murder and get an injection of HIV. But in nasty cases, we use weed killer, and we use murder substance that kills you instantly. So, okay, so we got to get nasty. It says the government wants to do that. 9 cell calls up me, 3 lots of sneezing. More rough people at me, bow whistles, lots of bow whistles. Bonus loud bike, bow whistles, same again. Boner loud bike. Paedophile knock his fucking teeth in, HIV needle in. 4 phone calls ring up me, 7 people cough at me, and another loud bike issue. More dribbling bow whistles. Coughed at, more dribbling wet bow whistles. And another loud bike tied to an erection. Wind direction, his nose is blowing at me. Seagull laughs after a boner and next loud bike. It's okay, bring out the black and blue, hit out the fucking traffic. The government want to get raring up fucking nasty. With no reason to, just to get fucking malicious and nasty with their fucking satanic forces. Drain cover hit over by grey sex car. Right, there's a conversation that takes place saying he's a paedophile. I'll wait outside, smash him in the fucking face. Someone says dead just child molester. That bow whistled or similar bow whistled, photo taken of me. 2 cell calls begin, and a couple of loud bites to erections. And this is the 12th person that's photographed me, with 2 more photographing me in the library. I sneezed up, coughed up, breaking in night top, Bogus boner and bike, started car, grey white paint, boner and bike, grey car. I can't keep out grey white, car trying to hit me in a sly way. Black and blue cars my way, more than that though, grey etc. Knife shape nicely timed. Plenty of black and blue, sick grey white, knife shaped again, gun shaped, rent a kill, row kill, and very fast. Which is similar to yesterday. I can't remember what the order is of yesterday, but those 3 vehicles have occurred in that order. Bonus, a loud bike. Tail caught my right way outlined. Cars cut me up and one of the car nearly hit into me because obviously can't drive, and they're causing younger people to drive. All these teenagers stupid. Right, before I get a say to what I want to say, they're fucking colliding the cars with about 20 colliding cars on top of about 30 more cars on top of that on this little bit of road I usually take, which is no more than a couple of minutes or so. Right, I've forgotten where I was on the sheet because the government keeps setting up all these fucking cars. Right, lost your life child abuser said. Sex is the fucking problem. Here, gonna fucking knock him out, said. And then red sexual car, white car, sick, black sick, white sick, black sick, black and blue, white sick, and I've forgotten what the rest is. And that's a sick car. Right, I've had to come up here to do the video I wanted to do earlier on because what's happened is there's too many people about. Right, I wanted to say this at the bus station, but I just couldn't do it. And I wanted to get a bus. I failed to get the bus. I thought it's too busy. I'm not going to bother getting the bus. So I went into plan B of going to the library. Well, anyway, I saw Emma, a person I knew at my school. Now, in the past, I've been told I'm a sick cunt for chatting to this Emma. And believe it or not, this Emma is actually 1 year older than me. So, the people that are actually telling me I'm a sick cunt do not realise that I'm actually younger than this person. Anyway, it's too late to talk to her because I'm not very happy with what's been said earlier. So, I've got a sick car again. The government actually hitting me. I said it was quite heavy out today, actually. I've been told to go with Lisa Pike a couple of years ago and told I'm a sick cunt for looking at this Emma. Emma and Lisa Pike are exactly the same age. In actual fact, the only difference is Emma is a couple of months more older than Lisa Pike, and that Emma is a smooth-skinned sexual type of person, where Lisa Pike is the complete opposite. So they thought Emma was in her 20s at the time, and they called me a sick bastard and threatened to smash me in and break my fucking bones in every part of my body, getting very vicious about it, and calling me a child rapist, saying that this person that you're speaking to is only in her fucking 20s when she's actually 1 year older than me. But that goes back to 2022. Let's go to 2024, shall we, at the bus station, where they twisted her mind. Firstly, I went to say alright, and then she said, and I can't remember exactly what she said, but she got a bit sarcastic and said, thought I was Savenne. So she thought I was Savenne, and she said something sarcastic, and it sounded very bad, actually, to be fair. So I just ignored it and walked on, but I couldn't really hear what was going on because at the same time there's a lot of traffic noise blocking out for me to hear exactly what was said. So just wanted to mention it. Facts, right, you little bastard. Right, sorry about that. Right, so I've just had a threat saying you're a sick cunt and being shot dead. And another person had an argument with me saying you're outnumbered, you're a fucking paedophile, you're going to be smashed out and put in a hospital bed. And then another person starts on me for trying to photograph me, which is a person that's just tried it right just this minute in time, claiming that I'm Savenne. Right, 2 batteries I charge are completely flat. I'm not very happy about that. Well, we had about 160 cars. It's only this minute and second gone dead quiet. But that's the average amount for a busy road, for that specific road. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just a very busy flow of traffic, which is the average amount you get on a busy day. Right, just before I did the last recording, I had a bit of a disagreement with someone. I didn't manage to get the details properly because I was trying to mention the other threats before that, and I wanted to try and audio record him shouting back at me, and it didn't work. So what happened was I thought he was going to shout back. So he basically said, he took a photograph of me and said, "That's it, Savannah, you're losing your life. You're a child rapist. You're not going to be around anymore." And then he said something else, and he said something that was a bit sarcastic, which is, "You're going to have to be played about with when you're born in your next life as a little baby, when you're reborn again." I can't remember the term he said now. So I said, "Well, my name's Justin, so get the facts right." And then he said something else, and I said, "Alright, we'll get the fucking facts right then, you bastard," or something like that. And that was the end of that. He didn't say nothing else. So when I pushed record on there, that was the end of it. So that was what the threat was. Someone just shouted from a car. They could see me walking up here, so they must have seen me, and saying, "That's it, you lost your life, Just, you fucking sick cunt. We all know that you're Savan." Well, it looks like the fucking curse is on, isn't it? Firstly, a tree branch drops on me. A crow says pervert, and then straight after that, when I cross the road, trip on the steps, and then I bang my face in this fucking gate. Right now, there's a loud farmer gunshot near where I am, to add to the fucking problems of today. Now, a loud bike time to erection. And a lookalike in front, quite a way in front, but lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, to the same erection. Right, the bastards have beat me at the catalytic converter hotpoint. Core, catalyst, Christ, you naughty cunt. Yeah, a catalyst, gas, Christ, fucking gas. You nasty fucking bastard. That's the exact road where they fucking tried knocking me off with a tanker back in January. And I slipped in the road, and I was basically, well, literally, you're looking at about, 1 foot from being hit, and I nearly fell into the road, and there's no way he would be able to stop. And it's also, in the same time period, on that same day, a tree branch was timed to fall onto my head as well. But if we go back also to a time in January, I can't remember when it is now, where was it? I think it was just after the new year. There's a whole load of fucking things that collapsed and dropped onto me. Then we had these traps where something stops you going any further. So there was 2 girls, aged about 11, walking from the field, about 15 foot in front of me, and this invisible force stopped me going anywhere, like a glass mirror or glass sheet that stops you going anywhere. And they were just smiling and looking at me and saying, "Oh," I can't remember what they said, and they saw me, but they didn't seem distracted or anything like that. It's like, it was a "I like you" sort of look. It wasn't sort of anything offensive, but I just couldn't make out why that occurred. If you like on a bungee, like sitting in that round ball thing, and you go in the air, well, you know when you go down and go up or whatever, there's like a gravity that's pushing you back down or whatever, and you can't go any further. Is that sort of feeling when you're trying to go walk through this invisible mirror that's stopping you go anywhere, except it's a bit more pressure on it and a bit more tight. A bit like if you're walking into a blown up balloon and you can't go any further. It's a bit like that, but without a physical touch. You can only feel the gravitational force. It doesn't actually physically touch you, if you get what I'm saying, but it's there. So a bit like 2 magnets that don't go together. When you push the 2 magnets together and they don't allow you to push them together, it's sort of like that basically. So, and that's happened a few times, not just once or twice, and it's only happened this year. I'm eating, and it's only 11 AM. But there's a reason for that. I'm always, when I get trouble, or I feel a bit stressed, or got anxiety, or things are building up, for some reason I get a lot more hungrier than if, it's the same with drinking my beer. I end up having another can or more if I feel unease or whatever. But, so I just wanted to mention that. About 3 minutes ago, there was a couple of people that just walked past, and basically what they did was they walked past and they did this stupid laugh, like ha 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 ha, in that sort of way, and then they were making spewing up sounds. They were on their phone, they photographed me, and they played a country and western track that says "Me and My Guitar." It sounds very similar to "Saturday Night at the Movies," which is a 70s track. They didn't say nothing else, but the problem is they photographed me when they did this. Same place as yesterday, same voice sound, crow clearly saying "fuck you" or whatever, in a stupid fucking pathetic way, and also saying another word that means exactly the same, which I won't fucking repeat. Dead paedophile hire said, a kid says busting in your a sick person mate. Right, a catalytic converter needs to be set up as I go towards the bin. I keep on doing this every single time I go to this bin because it makes a smell. It makes a vinegary smell mixed with this type of smell of rubbing cress between two stainless steel knives, apart from the stench is 50 to 100 times stronger. And then the next car just to be assured of it. Right, so we've had Spastic Justin said by Crow. A Crow is telling me to fuck whatever, your whatever. So I won't repeat what that says. And the Crow says, knife you down. Shot dead, said. Right, so it's gone midday, and the temperature while sitting down is extremely hot. Because where I was sitting, there was no breeze, and it felt like it was about 27 degrees Celsius. I'm not exactly sure what the temperature is, but it's definitely at least 23 degrees Celsius now, which is not a normal temperature for the start, well, the second week of April. The temperature's going up to high temperatures last year actually went in order to the months that I'm going to mention. So the coolest month, it was warm, but it was the coolest month, and that was April. Then it got warmer in May, then it got slightly warmer in June, then it got quite hot in July, it got even hotter in August, but when we came to the beginning of September, I had to camp because I couldn't stick the temperatures in my room. So I was camping for basically 10 days, or just under 10 days, which included 1 or 2 nights at mine in between, because I couldn't stay there because the temperatures are too high. You're looking at 34 degrees Celsius at night, and it says on the internet anything higher than 20 something degrees Celsius overnight temperature can actually be deadly. So yeah, it's not good, is it? But that was what the temperature was. When the extreme high temperatures did occur in September of 2023, when we came to the later end of September, it's more like the temperatures of late April. I just want to give you the average age of what sort of music people used to listen to back in the 1980s and the 1990s, through like from young age to old age. In the 1980s and the 1990s, the average age of the people that would listen to sort of pop music would have been sort of anything from childhood, would have been of sort of babies sort of would listen to nursery rhymes, toddlers or all that would listen to sort of party songs up to about the age of 9, 10, 11. People, when they reach a sort of 12, 13 area, they'd listen to usually mostly pop music, but there might have been some people that were younger than that would listen to pop music. And when it comes to this age group, that I'm referring to the 1980s and the 1990s, not today. Right, if I can get through the catalytic converter control, I'll mention the next section. So people when they're about, 13 up would just listen to pop music, dance music, that sort of thing. And when people were in their 20s, it was much the same, just ordinary pop music, bands, singers and whatever. People in their 30s, it's very much similar again. When people hit their 40s, there's people that start to go into the classical scene. And then obviously if you're a very old person, most people will listen into classical music because they're too old to listen to anything else. But you did have the odd people that like the country and western, the rock and roll and other types of music as well. Now let's move on to today's population and what people listen to today through age. So initially, toddlers and kids listen to nursery rhymes and party songs obviously, but even at the age of just 5 or 6, people are just listening to dance tunes, club tunes, hip hop and whatever else. So it's much the same right up until the age of about 30. So really no change. So people in there from about the age of 5 to around about the age of 30, 35. Usually most people listen to the same stuff, but you might get other people that are into other genres like pop music in the same way as it was back in the 80s and the 90s. When you reach your 40s, it's much the same there as well, because we're in a different time. A lot of people like the club tunes, the drum and bass. When I say drum and bass, I'm not referring to jungle, I'm referring to drum and bass, because jungle is a very underground category that doesn't exist anymore, and it can't even be listed as a genre of music anymore. And but anyway, and then obviously people like house and garage and whatever, and then obviously when people hit their mid-40s, high 40s, their music changes again. So basically they listen to stuff like dark classical, chilled out music or whatever. It depends on the person, but as a overall, that is my suspicion of what they listen to. But then again, in the 1990s, you had people in their 30s, 40s and 50s listening to underground banging techno and dark underground deep jungle stuff. So I don't know, it's hard to say. Right, I was going to go for a walk, but it looks like the elite or the government or God's forces want to control the traffic to be extremely heavy. So it's about 4 times busier than usual. There's been about 150 cars on this road since I walked from the cemetery. But I have walked down the road for about a good 8 minutes, something like that, before walking back. Someone's trying to photograph me with a drone for some reason. Well, there's usually a car on this stairs, but they, like I said, it's busy today. Right, there's been a couple of threats. Pedo Just, his real name's Savem, which is not true. Get him next time, HIV. The thing you've got to think about is when these people start fights, you've got to aim to cut their wrists and throat. You've got to go into murder in a proper fight nowadays. So anyone starts on you, you can't just take a fight on. You've got to prepare for murder. It's the only way. That's how modern fights work. 90% or 80% of modern fights, firstly, once you're smacked out, as I said many times before, once the fist takes to you, that's when the knife comes out and gets smashed into the people's faces and in bodies and whatever else. And then it usually ends up in murder, with someone being injected with weed killer, a direct substance that kills them instantly, or if they do it the coward's way, it's usually HIV syringe. So if I was to have to get into a serious fight and my life was, any fight, because of how dangerous people are, you've got to aim to cut the wrists and throat and make sure that person dies. I know it might be, you just have to, it's not good, is it? But, we're in a time where you have to do that. When people fight, it's not like it used to be. A fight, your head kicked in, you go in hospital bed, they're friends with you after the fight. It's not like that anymore. It's different. And even in an old type of fight, you have to be careful. So, you've got to take murder into account these days. So when a fight takes place, when a fist is thrown at you, or someone's going to smash you out, you've got to be prepared for murder. There's nothing you can do about it. We're in a dangerous time, and you've got to be dangerous about it. You might end up in jail, but you've got no choice. It's life for life, you see. We've got to work on it on a principle that people take your lives in a fight now. Right, 6 loud bites time to an erection. They're going to keep on doing this all fucking day. They're going to try and push me back home. That's what they're going to do. I know I haven't got much battery power to do these recordings either, so I've got to eliminate the amount of problems that I state. There's definitely going to be a load of problems. I'm just going to have to eliminate it because I'm not going to get it all on air, obviously. I haven't got enough battery powers or batteries to see me through. What I will say, going back to this fight business and murder or whatever, is obviously you have to wait until that punch is thrown. You can't do anything at all unless that punch is thrown, because you need confirmation that when the punch is thrown, if the punch hits you and it's been thrown at you, and then another punch is ready to be taken at you, then that's when you have to either get a weapon out or aim to cut someone's wrists and throat in a nasty, vicious murder fight. All fights are like this now. You've got to prepare. It's not like fights in the olden days, even in the 90s, even in the late 90s. If someone fights, you've got to prepare to commit murder. I just quickly want to say, I can't remember how many fights it was I saw, but I think it's somewhere around about 10 fights I saw in the year of 2022, where it was aggressive. Well, over half of those fights, I actually saw myself, people getting a knife out, smashing it in each other, getting nasty about it. So that just goes to show that when fights take place, that sort of activity also occurs. But also, I've seen these people on a few occasions, because I've actually walked around them or walked into them timed as I got uptown or whatever. So obviously when the fight took place, or these fights took place with a knife, obviously they didn't get arrested. So it's worth mentioning. One of the fights that I mentioned in this video actually took place where I was watching it, because I had to wait for the train. I was in the area where it took place. This is in 2022 when I went to Weymouth on the train and came back because I was camping up Portland or whatever. But what happened with this fight is, obviously it started off with a scrap, and then it turned nasty where they got knives out and went to smash knives in each other. They didn't get arrested, obviously. They ended the fight They said enough's enough, it's got to stop. And then they threatened to inject each other with HIV, AIDS, while the other one was saying, I'm not using coward substance, I'll inject you with, what was it he said, brake fluid or something like that, which will kill you instantly. So, and then it sort of ended. Then they started walking away, shouting at each other, and that was the end of that. Right, so cars trying to hit me crossing the road, very busy, nothing I can do about it. Right, a couple of cars have started as I passed. I wanted to mention how the HIV needle threat went to the weed killer or whatever. So what happened is back in 2010 area, something like that. What happened is people were threatening to smash people in. I hope I can't this. So yeah, they were doing that, and then obviously people that were trying to inject people with HIV were being told that they're trying to inject people with coward substance, and that too afraid to commit murder with a syringe that contains proper substance of chemicals like weed killer, brake fluid or bleach or whatever else. So what happened then is people did start carrying bleach needles, and they were mouthing off at the Palace nightclub. So then they started saying they're going to smash people's legs up and smash their arms off if they carry any type of needle, regardless of the substance, even HIV. So then that sort of died. So all the put the gun to rest graffiti occurred. But before that, it was squirrels are crawling and stuff like that graffiti when they were going like that. And obviously there was many fights and many arguments about this. But a lot of it was sort of mostly sexuality. But I didn't actually, that specific threat, although I had loads of threats, I don't record it being, it wasn't all one-sided. It was bad, but it wasn't all one-sided, if you get what I'm saying. As far as all this goes, I'm just going to leave it there, because the only reason I'm bringing up fighting and trying to murder people and injecting them or whatever is only because of the threats I've had and because of the people starting on me today. So that's the only reason I've really brought up all this. Anyway, there's a very little battery power, and I've got to save this very tiny bit for the rest of the problems of today, which I'm going to have to state in brief because I haven't got enough battery to state it in full. There may not be too many problems, but I will mention it. Dead. Yeah, next week. Said. This is a new route I'm taking. I didn't realise that basically almost every path is private, so when you get here it's just basically a field and you have to turn around and go back. This is at the railway station in Yeovil Junction, so just thought I'd mention it. Right, so there's a train, just to confirm my evidence, and a bike timed. I got choked by a fucking catalyst. They've caused the train to have a catalytic converter on it, and it's all blowing this way. I don't want to play about with the fucking stupid loud bike issue, tied to about 20 erections and itchy whatever, bumhole, and also black and blue white cars and whatever. Getting a bit pissed off of it now, Downing Street or whoever's doing it, or God, possibly. Obviously I know it's going to be a sunny day, I know what the weather forecast is, but I don't want to talk about the sun. I want to mention the history of the sun. So if we go back to the 1980s, the middle of the summer, when I was at Monkton Prior's school, you find that the sun was glaring down, but you used to have a sort of yellow effect on the ground, or a sort of orangey yellow, and that's in the summer. Obviously sunny days were very far and few between, but then again you have 3 weather fronts in the UK, according to this Geography of the World book that I bought in the sale from the Works bookshop in Angel Place in Bridgewater back in 2001 area, I think it was. So anyway, in the 1990s that sun became a little bit brighter, but there's still enough to cause like a kind of an orangey yellow on the ground, but it was a little bit brighter. When we come into the 2001 area, the sun started to get a bit more depressing when it came out. It seemed to have a brighter glare than what it used to, and you noticed that it looked a bit white rather than having that yellow effect, and you noticed it was very depressing. However, at the same time, bright cloudy days was also boring. It's quite depressing. You didn't really have many grey cloudy days, it was just bright white cloud. And I found that quite depressing. Even though the sun wasn't coming through all the time, it was, I do prefer grey days, and a lot of people start on me, so it's bad back in those days. So a few years move on, 2003, it was sunny. Obviously the sun was still bright, but you still had some form of yellowy sort of colour to the ground, even though it was a lot brighter and had a white colour to the sun. But nowadays, it's just like a beach in the Mediterranean that's got a white glare right across it in a foreign country, but on British ground basically. So it's like that these days, the sun, and I don't like that sort of weather. So you can't even take pictures anymore. Robbery, getting a break in, you fucking fruitcake, and I step in mud at the same time. Well, this bastard wants to start that, I can get fucking nasty as well. Someone in a mansion has just fucking started saying, dead, break in, paedophile twat. Right, I'm redoing a recording that I did earlier because I accidentally deleted it like I did the other music one the other day. Right, what I was going to say earlier is I've joined up for a dating site. Now, over time, between 2005, anything from paying by postal order payments to putting posters in shop windows, you know, flyers asking, is there anyone single? When we came to the year of 2019, I just completely gave up because people were moaning about my age, telling me that they've got an ex-boyfriend and that they're a single mother, and that the ex-boyfriend doesn't want me to go with you, or that you're a sick cunt, or you're having your teeth smashed, you know, if you go in the street you're being smashed out or whatever. So I kind of give up, and then obviously you had that prostitute who nicknamed herself Jeanette, who robbed me as well of 800 quid for one of the neighbours to move out, for a new neighbour to move in, which to the conversation I heard was a setup done deliberately, thinking that I was mentally disabled and thought that they could dig at me, and they thought it could be a good way to start on me digging on sexualities to start rows like this, nailing me as a sick bastard, for example, because it's a younger woman or whatever. But anyway, yesterday, for the first time in several years, I had to sign up to another dating site. But I just want to quickly mention something else. As soon as I gave up on those dating sites, battery went flat, but what I was saying, as soon as I gave up on those dating sites before in 2018, 2019 area, I wish they stopped timing a loud bike to a fucking erection, of course. I started this is when the time period was when I started walking into Gemma Ferguson and this other person that looked like Gemma Ferguson. This other person that looked like Gemma Ferguson was a little bit older and not as attractive, with slightly rougher skin, and she's a single mother of 3 children, as I saw her on the bus, and she sort of looked at me, but I think she had the same name, which was interesting. However, the proper Gemma, the one that I saw on a regular basis, and she's even spoken, said alright, she was on and off with me when she saw me, but over time, where she thought I was Liam initially at times, and gone to Savannah and gone to saying I'm a dangerous pervert or claiming that this and that, it's caused her to fall out with me. And when I left that message in the shop asking does she fancy going for a chat or meet up for a coffee or whatever, that finished it all completely, saying that she went to the Blake school and said you don't want to fucking mess with this sort of people, and all my friends I know, I love you dead, I love you fucking dead. But initially she threatened to phone the police, then she changed her story, saying that she's keeping that letter and she wants me dead, and saying she's going to get her friends to do me over and actually commit manslaughter and all that sort of stuff. So I went into that phone call. Just 1 month later, it might not be connected to the same person, but it could be out of several people that I chatted to. I've not spoken to anyone at all since, by the way, since the attack, because this person wanted to meet me at the railway station so he could smash me in onto the railway line, or put a knife in me or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. So I decided all the people that I've spoken to in the past are a waste of time, and people that are shit on you and put a fucking knife in your back and don't want to know you or whatever, including people that I've spoken to or known, because a lot of people have turned against me. Because let's look at Kim, for example. Yeah, Kim, when she was in her very early 20s or late teens, she was in a sexual relationship with someone the age I am now, nearly, give or take a couple of years. I'm not sure which direction, whether it's younger or older. I mean, it could have been either way, but she was definitely in a relationship with someone my age or around my age at this minute in time. 10 years later, her age is like 30. She's got me down as a sick cunt because of the age gap, even if I message her on Facebook or whatever. So that's the times we're in. And what's happened in that 10 years? People have tightened the age gap up and got you down as a sick cunt. And that's the same person who has had sex with no problem at all with someone my age when she was 10 years younger, before she moaned about the age gap 10 years later. And take into account, I would have been 10 years, there would have been 10 years, she would have been 10 years older as well. So there's a lot of changes in the way people react to people these days. Anyway, it's not a good name, and it's designed for people born in 1981 or before. But I joined it just to get evidence, and for it's called Grannies for You. That's what the dating site is called. So it's Grannies, then the number 4, and then the letter number U. So obviously I've gone on there and I can't find anyone at the moment that I'm attracted to. I'm struggling to find someone that's not a single mother, because obviously I shouldn't be forced to go with a single mother when I've had no sex and no partner in my whole life. And obviously I've left it out there. I've gone through, paid a £40 payment for the 1 month, but I got to check to make sure it's not an overpayment where you have to pay more after that. So that's basically what I wanted to mention and what got deleted off earlier. Sick cunt, she's only a baby. Smash you out, said in fucking temper. From footballers, there's somebody over there. I've just inhaled a load of fucking flies. There's been a few animal voice sounds, crow, birds saying stuff in this stupid pattern. Right, someone's just, right, tingling bumhole and a loud bike. Someone just said, what was it? Breaking in, fucking paedophile, molested a specific name. And then they sort of accusing me saying, this is why he's going down there. Like this, there we are. I didn't hear what that was, but it probably sounds like a normal scream or something. But basically what's happened is they're saying that well basically, for example, I went to my dad's, where I'm going to have to reword this, rephrase it. Basically, for example, say I went to my dad's and there was a person that I fancy, for example, down in that area. Were they accusing me of raping that person, and the reason for me to go there to rape that person, which is not true. The reason I went to my dad's is because I was being burnt by energy weapons that are being deliberately caused that go through walls and ceilings. And that's the reason I had to leave mine, because I was getting very ill from it, and I was so ill that I nearly lost my life, and I was sort of in a bad way. So that's what happened there. But anyway, when I came back, it didn't really stop as such. It was sort of here and there. So when I was living at Burnham-on-Sea, what happened was I was getting this burning eye, stinging, bit gritty eyes. It was persistently, so I had to camp out because of it. And I had the same problem there, with threats saying I'm a sick cunt because I'm camping out and not staying at home where I should be. And even the police were wondering. But when I sort of mentioned, at the early stages, but when I was mentioning the eye problem and all the rest of it, they started to have a bit of sympathy and realise what was going on. But they're using these sorts of weapons as a sly way to move you to different places, which is also reorganising all this mapping out movement and putting you into traps of threats, and people accusing you of things you haven't done because you've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, where people are using these sorts of energy weapons to try and put you in a booby trap, and where people are actually thinking that you've actually done this and done that when you haven't, because you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they think that you've been a paedophile or whatever, or so on. Like, so this is what's going on. Or even, as an alternative, there might not be anybody I fancy down in that area, but they still force you in that area thinking that you fancy that person. It's like that. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Fuck, you fucked up your life, Justin, he said. Right, I'm gonna have to you're sick cunt, just shot dead, shouted. But they're doing it as playing football. We've had this all over fucking years. We've had people going through the loudspeaker at the carnival in 2008 saying, Justin is a child rapist, raped Stephanie, tear his life up, he's jeopardised everyone, tear him apart and fucking stuff like that. There's nothing new. And it's done in like mass amounts of people. So, and when we go to like football groups or like that, they're doing the same now, there's nothing you can do about it. I've just done another recording, but I kind of fucked up, so I can't remember how I did the recording, because what I've said is basically I'm sort of saying that I fancy someone, but it's not that case. It's the fact that I've been put into a situation where this is not something I've just recorded or anything like this. We're talking about something else now. But it's not someone I fancy, but I've had to word it in that way to rephrase what I'm trying to explain to make it sound like it looks like that. A catalytic converter hot point with a grey car and grey sexual timed. Still at a catalytic converter hot point. Another 6 cars, and now those 2 that are passing as I cross. Sick car and your life lost said. It's sort of some of these words might just sound like it, but there's definitely a proportion of stuff that's actually been said that I've heard clearly in the past to confirm that what I've heard is true. And I've audio recorded it in the past with a tape recorder before the digital audio recording devices back in 2005, where other people have heard it. However, even though there's been shouting or whatever, the social worker, support workers or the doctor, even if you play them the recording with a swearing or whatever, they just say they can't hear nothing at all, even though it's in plain sight there was something on it. But this is going back in the early days of when I moved to Bridgewater and first knew the Bridgewater team that dealt with my case at that time, and when I first moved to West Street in Bridgewater, which is a block of flats in the middle of the town basically next to the Palace nightclub. I mean, when you consider Burnham-on-Sea or the threats you get today, Bridgewater is rough in that sort of time period, but there's more people that are like it today. They don't show the nasty side of themselves. They're more discreet. They cover up and then they get at you later on when you're on your own sort of thing, then kick off or in town or whatever. And me being mistaken as Savan, you know, as well, it's just, you know, and people photographing me or whatever, it's more a case of rather than starting a fight or rather doing this, they're preparing to organise or to shoot you dead sort of things like that now. I feel like just doing a bit of a video, so I'm just going to mention that Gemma lookalike. I haven't seen her today, but I have seen her recently, in the last 2 weeks in fact. So what happened was, I came down here, and firstly there was a Gemma Ferguson lookalike, except she's about 10 years younger than Gemma Ferguson, and slightly smoother appearance and skin, and a bit less sinister looking in the face actually. Well, she passed me, she smiled at me and said, "Are you alright?" And I said, "Yeah." That was the very first time. Second time I saw her, she sort of looked and sort of smiled comically, but gave this sort of evil eye to sort of say, "I'm alright with you, but I'm unsure." And all the times after that, basically, she sort of looked at me as if I was nasty and gave me an evil look. Quite literally every time. But then we come to a time where I passed her on one specific occasion before staying at my dad's, and she said something, and I think she said something like, "No, you're Savan, you're sicko" or something, but it wasn't in a strong term. It's to make it known, let's say, it's a mild term that she put. It wasn't a nice thing what she said. And then obviously every time I've seen her since, it's basically been to similar suggestions really, but a lot of the times mostly just walking past angrily as if I'm a sick piece of shit. So, and all this is all in the last 3 months. Before that time I don't recognise seeing that person before, I don't think, or if I did, no, I don't think I have. Oh well, I'll leave it there. There's a load of cars coming back in this direction, I notice. So far we've had about 70-ish since I've been on this path. I've been on this path about roughly 3.5 minutes. And it's just ongoing, so that means that when I get to the bridge, it's going to be completely packed and cars colliding. Right, I just want to mention something. I've been here 5 minutes. I had to stop because I needed to write a few things down and I needed to leave a message for the social worker. I mentioned earlier on this lady that looks like a dog who's about 44, 45. I'm not quite sure what her name is, but she has a sister called Gemma, and her sister's a lot older looking, but she's actually younger. She's actually younger than me, but she has the appearance of a granny and grey hair and sort of wrinkly skin, because she's the sort of, some people develop that at an earlier age, and some people even still have sexual skin when they're in their 50s, but she's just that type, where her sister is older, taller, and has still has smooth skin. It's starting to sort of When I saw her like just now, it's starting to degrade a little bit, but it's even worse than those. Although she's starting to look a bit more sort of just going into the negative attraction very slowly. Obviously I can just about fancy her, but I can notice that there's a change. It looks like she's pregnant, so it gets even better, doesn't it? She's with some chap roughly my age, but rough looking, and with a hardened accent, so too late for that now, isn't it? If that was a possibility. So it just gets better and better, doesn't it? Yeah, walking up the track up here, because I had to move to let them pass, and they didn't really, they weren't kind about it, they just brushed past. They didn't actually say thanks or anything like that, I just went past and that was it basically. And sort of as if I was a sick, kind of get out of my way quick sort of thing. When the traffic flows started picking up, there was a bit of a period where it sort of slowed down for a few minutes, and that's in the time period I was doing the last recording. They seem to be making a suggestion. I don't know why, but there's a specific girl on YouTube that's had a rapture dream where she's had a paranormal experience with Jesus Christ. I think it's called Reynolds Beats, the channel something. But it's April 2021. A 6-year-old that has a rapture dream is a vision of Christ, or sees Christ. Or, I can't remember what the video said now, but I think she leaves the house or has an out-of-body experience to visit Christ and then returns. I don't know why they're suggesting that specific person out of all the rapture dreams that are on YouTube, or children having rapture dreams, but they seem to be very concentrated on that specific suggestion when it comes to these setups. Obviously someone's taken a photograph of me as well walking down the path. I haven't had any trouble when they photographed me. I'm a bit annoyed by that as well. So there's a couple of yellow cars, so yes, it is a sunny day, so I try and suggest it's sunny, but with the suggestions that I just said, but anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Seagull saying, be up, you child molested girls, you child molester. Someone going phlegm coughed in my direction, and the spits flied onto me, so I've got to wash my t-shirt with sanitizer when I get back in a minute, and give it a better soaking when I get back. Bike time to erection, that's right, Christ. Bring them out, don't you? Bring it out to fucking day, Christ. Right, shortly going to be on the road where they're going to start colliding cars, nailing me as the sick bastard, try and knock me aside to try and bump me off. And then obviously they're going to time all these fucking roughneck fucking people with beards or roughneck people to try and knock me off after that, setting up another load of fucking malicious actions. So that's what's coming next. Now we have a cell core timed to start with, going in exactly the same direction to share radiation in the same direction I'm going to be walking. So my buddy goes up with a bike. Yeah, very clever guy. Crow says, yes, Justin, your child rapist having a break-in. Later, someone just said a threat from a car. What I just said, and he raped her, or something like that. I said, I couldn't make out what it said. Someone in that car just said something, I don't know what it was. I'm going to check this recording. Drains hit. Girl says, funny bloke. Going behind bars said, black and blue cars. And obviously there's been a few people, because obviously the government want to smash a knife in my face or smash a fucking metal bar across my head, and to cheer about it, to tell me, oh, we're going to sexually play with you in your next life as a newborn baby with poker sticks in a fireplace. The government just won't fucking stop it. They've got to say that because they're possessed by putting babies in fireplaces and crucifying them basically. Right, more drain covers hit over, one after the other. Loads of black and blue cars, white timed, choked by catalyst. It's kind of a suggestion to say that we sliced your wrist with a creator God, but done in a way to say it doesn't matter, we're ripping you to fucking pieces. This is the way we work with the organisation that's mapping out this control movement around me. White, yellow, red, white, black and blue set. Choked up by catalyst, black and blue, of about 200 cars stopping across. Overhanging trailer trying to rip my fucking legs off. A loud bike time to erection, and just going on like that.